Hello everyone, Karen the Warp Spinster here. Thank you for spending some time with me. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be working more with the strips that I started last week. Want to try out some layout ideas, and I'm using this foam core as a background so we have the illusion of white in the background no matter what we do. I hope that this is going to go fine. I'm filming blindly because I cannot see the camera, and I'm using a microphone, so as I move around hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. So here are the two that I did last week, and these are just foundation pieced on white strips, and I notice I have two different whites here. Oh well, it's scrappy. Now I did over the course of the week do 3 more. There's one. Trying to keep these all in frame here. Here's another. Pardon my head if it gets in here once in a while. And then here's another. I wanted an uneven number. This one I still haven't appliqued down that edge, but we'll get the effect regardless. So now that I have these, I want to think about how to arrange them, and I was originally thinking I will just slide them up and down and then have different widths of white strips between them, and I think that would be fine. And you could certainly do this for a full-size quilt, make these pieced sections much longer and use many more scraps than I've used here. So, and I did vary the width of these because, well, variety. Spice of life, and also makes for good design. I have, because it's from my scrap pile, I have many of the same fabrics repeated, which gives it some cohesion. And then in each of them I have what I'm calling my little wild stretch and wonkiness in there. Now, I can, of course, arrange the widths, differing widths, any way that I want, and different amounts of white in between. And I want to vary that as well. I don't want to have just a standard amount in between and have them slide up and down different amounts. So I want to check here. Yes, you can see all of those. All right. Now, the other thought I had this week, though, was what if I wanted to do some of these diagonally, either really a lot diagonal, a pretty steep diagonal, or not so steep. And I don't want that angling to be regular either, so I don't want to take, say, this one and do every other one at an angle and the same angle. It's an option, not what I want, however. So I might do something like this. I could have all of them angled a little bit. That one I think I'd want to go the opposite of that, and then I could do one, say, like that. A little more of a challenge to piece, but certainly not undoable. And then that one maybe angled a bit too. And it looks funky up there, but we can ignore that, right? And that is kind of interesting too. Now, remember, I will probably have some appliqued pieces on top. I showed you that ring and a circle, so I want to do something to connect these together. That might work better if they are straight rather than angled. And there's the option of just one of them being angled. So another rogue, where one of them is just off, not just a little bit, because I don't want people to think that I just did a bad piecing job and it was supposed to be straight. Because, you know, that's not outside the realm of possibility. So I think that because I want to put shapes on top of it to connect these, to pull them together better, that I don't want them all diagonal. I might on another piece, But I think for here, at least for where I plan to put those applique pieces, that I don't want diagonals. Do I want any diagonal at all? I think I'm going to go and get just a couple of pieces and try them out on the diagonal and see if that's going to work or not. And I am back with some shapes. I have this ring, which honestly is getting pretty torn up. I need to get it on some fusible web at least, so it isn't in quite such bad shape. And this is one of my favorite shapes to pull these together, so let's put that one over by the diagonal. And someone had suggested maybe doing some black and white strips across, which is an option, but I'm thinking that it's too much like what I have already on there. So they don't have to be that long, of course. It's a possibility. I'm just not sure in this instance. That's how I'd want to go, and I've got various widths here to test it out. I think it's just somehow clashing with the strips on those. I also had, oops, I forgot the black circle. Should go get that because I think that would be important. I want to try things on where this diagonal is, especially, to see if that's going to work all right or if it's going to be jarring. There's a suggestion to have these arrow pieces, several of them, and going in different directions, like that idea. And then of course I can have other circles. Now I'm going to have to go and get the black circle. I'll be back yet again. All right, now I have a small black circle, and it's getting pretty packed here with things going on top of things. But we can kind of see how it's going. I also have a big black and white circle that may be too big, and I don't know, that may be too much. I have these black and white accents, and using that might be too much. Probably don't want those two yellows together. Do I want to do some going that way, maybe? I can't overload on these extra pieces. And maybe I want to stick to just a couple of shapes. I really like the arrows and the arrow idea, and I'm keeping the ring, even if nothing else happens. I'm going to be keeping the ring, and I may need another smaller one somewhere. Although here I've got 3 circular shapes and 3 arrow shapes. I think I'm just not feeling this diagonal for this piece. I think it'd be great. I might do another one where I put them all on the diagonal. But I'm not sure that I'm really feeling that here. So I'm just expressing my feelings about it. All right, I think maybe to tie these two sides together, I'm going to maybe put this blue over here, but perhaps not exactly in line with that. Or maybe I do want it in line with it. Do I want them to cross just where there's piecing? Or do I want to move that around? So the purpose of these is both to tie it together, but also to help move the eye around the piece. And the arrows will help me to do that. It's getting a lot up in that area. So I'm trying to balance all of that out too. I'm not sure that maybe I want all the pieces to be black. You know, I like that contrast of black and brights. And that helps to tie in all of these black and white bits. Not really sure about that. I wonder if I put this down here, and this is a smaller piece. It's going to have to go somewhere. Can't go on top of yellow. Then that's too empty. What about the black piece there? No, that's too busy. Too much stuff going on. So if I take that out, if I go with just those two shapes, maybe I need one going off to the side. That's better. Definitely better. Well, that's kind of fun that way, isn't it? Sidewise, if you're thinking design, I don't know about that, but I kind of like it. I do lots of things that design guidelines might not fit, but I do it anyway. Maybe those are too staggered. Maybe they aren't staggered enough. This is kind of bothering me here that these two are so close. So I might just swap this out, and it's still going to be there unless I pull this down here. I don't think I want to. No matter how I look at it, that's going to be next to there. So I could swap it out with another strip, but now I could have one that's really close so that almost looks like it just got split apart and moved across. Except that this is such a big piece, it can span a larger space in between. That one a little narrower because I've got a smaller piece here. And of course it doesn't have to be these particular pieces or colors. And then another wider one here. It is a little difficult because of all the folding up there that is a little bit distracting. I may have to just sit and look at this for a while. In the living room, I can just leave it here, and whenever I walk by, I can take a look at it and maybe rearrange things. I think I have established that I do not want the black and white print. More about the black and white prints in a minute here. Unless maybe. I don't know. I've got two going that direction. So maybe this one actually wants to be down this way. That would be better. This looks like a Star Trek badge, doesn't it? It's not my intention, but that seems to be what I'm seeing now, and now I can't unsee that. All right. Love Star Trek, don't get me wrong. But I am not making a Star Trek quilt today. And part of this is going to be the negative space around it. How much is going to be off to the side and the top and bottom. So I have some things to ponder. And I don't want to make any decisions right now. You all give me your ideas, of course, for what you like and don't like, or things you'd like me to try. I don't want this to be a huge piece. You could certainly make an entire quilt, as I said, but this is just trying these things out. See how I feel about the length of these in comparison to the piece as a whole and all of that. It is possible that I should do a strip that has a lot longer stretch of piecing in there. Say right here, and well, no, because I don't want it to be centered. One of the others that is a much longer stretch of piecing. So I might try that. I like what I have, the pieces that I have. So, all right, we're going to leave that for you to ponder. I will straighten out that fold stuff at the top and then take a picture of this for you to see at the end of the video. So as you're contemplating what you might do differently, you will have a reasonably good photo of it. So that stays up for more pondering in your comments, and I have a couple of other things to talk about back in my sewing studio. Sorry, I see now that the sun was coming across there, coming through the window of my door. I will again post this at the end, post a photo so you can look at it longer there if you like. I am back in my studio, my usual spot here, and I wanted to update you on this piece that we worked on earlier. Again, I read all your suggestions, thank you, and someone, I think Michelle, thought that it needed something going from the upper left to the lower right corner and suggested a white strip. And I tried that. I thought that was a good suggestion because it was a little bit, I don't know, blank up here. But I didn't like it going across the whole piece, and I tried it slightly diagonal, and that wasn't working. So in the end, I just did a narrow white strip that curves, that crosses here, so it kind of fills up this space and also this space down here, and helps to, I don't know, bring the top and the bottom together somehow. Now I also want to do some big stitching or some sort of embroidery stitch by hand with some pearl cotton, maybe, I don't know, size 5 or something. And I have worked out what I want. It's just going to be 3 bent rays, as if this is coming into a prism and turning. And I will post a photo here now to show you what I have in mind for that. And then I think, well, no, it won't be quite ready. Up at the top here, this includes the selvage of this pink piece, and you can still see the pinholes from how it was held onto the machinery when it went through the rollers. So I've got evenly spaced pinholes, and I think what I'm going to do is try alternating white and black beads, just small beads, to cover up those pinholes. I needed that selvage up there because I needed to hold all this together, but I think I want to cover up those pinholes, and maybe I'll end up doing it with just clear beads or light pink beads. I've got all the kind of beads I can use. So that's where I am with this piece. I am progressing. It is going to be smaller as well. I've sort of worked out that it's going to be smaller. If you remember, I gave myself plenty of negative space around it. So that's coming along nicely. I'm liking it more. Thank you again for all your suggestions. Then I also had a question about the black and white fabrics I'm using, and I've talked about them in other videos when I've used them, but I thought for those who haven't watched the other videos, I'll kind of review some of them. This black and white stripe that I use that's my favorite is a Michael Miller, and it's called Circus Stripe, and I think it's white, oddly enough. I don't know. It's difficult to find. I did just get 4 fat quarters from an Etsy shop, but you'll have to keep an eye out for some other black and white stripes. I'll show you another one in a minute that is readily available at the moment. Some of the other pieces, I'm not sure which video she was watching, but I'll cover some of the black and whites that I've used. This is from Moda. It's a Riley Blake. Well, it can't be Moda then. Riley Blake does not. Yes, it is Moda. All right, Riley Blake. And this actually is the current season. It's Mad Masquerade. So there's the selvage for that. I think that's the only one I have selvage for, to be honest. These two are K Facet, and they are also, I think, pretty current. This one, I'm sorry, I don't know who this is. It might be another Michael Miller, although it doesn't really feel very Michael Miller-y. Sorry, I probably can told you on earlier videos, but it's, and these I think I all picked up via Fat Quarter Shop and or fabric.com. Couple of the pieces here, these are from my own collection called Desk Set, and they are available in my Spoonflower shop, and my Spoonflower shop is in the description below. I have a link to all things Spinster. And then these again are K Facet pieces. Now, yesterday a friend and I went to a local-ish quilt shop, and I've been kind of, since the quilt shop where I volunteered and taught closed a few years ago, I've been looking for my local quilt shop, since we don't have one in town, but we have plenty in surrounding towns and cities. And I've been looking, and they're all lovely, but I think the one that fits me best is one in, it's probably 30-40 minutes away. And let me grab my haul from there. Sorry about the rattle. Now, this is a black and white stripe. This is Tula Pink from her line work collection, and it is current. It is a wider stripe than the Michael Miller, and it's a little wider than I really was looking for, but I'll take it because it's a black and white stripe. It's nice and bold, and I will use it, so I bought a couple yards. Then I think this is Tula Pink. Yes, it is Tula Pink. I also got a half yard of a really big, bold black and white polka dot. And then I also got some other black and whites. And these, I'm dying to get in and use them, but I wanted to leave them in these lovely little packets before I take them out. And I believe these are all current. In fact, I have this one from somewhere. This one's a batik. Didn't even notice that. Huh, interesting. So these are all from the ACME Fabric and Quilt Company in Blair, Nebraska in the U.S. And you can shop online with them. The various print, this is my favorite. It's just so, look at that. It's black and white, but then it has pops of color in there. It's just, there's a teacup or coffee cup and some trees. I just love that. That's that's so me. So here are just some things that I picked up. Might find in your local quilt shop. If not, you can take a look at ACME. I will put a link to their website down below. How's that? In the description. Then while I was there, of course, I lovely brights and whatnots, and I wanted to buy one of everything. Have a good selection of batiks. But I bought another Tula Pink large polka dot in two of my favorite colors, with the purple and the kind of seafoamy teal. And then some more fat quarters. Well, all right, I'm going to have to look and see who these are. To be honest with you, I don't know. These are from Free Spirit. And this is Tiny Dots. They were close to the K Facet, and they're sort of K Facet colors, but I do not believe they are K Facet. I could be wrong. Someone may correct me. I generally am not buying much K Facet. This, I'm guessing, is going to be also Free Spirit. I don't have any selvage edge here that would tell me, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a Free Spirit as well. This one does not have a collection name on it. You know, I could be wrong. It doesn't look Cape Facet though, does it? Although the black and whites I didn't think looked very Cape Facet either. Not really his colors in this case. Yeah, that one's the only one I know. If you look at for Free Spirit Tiny Dots, I think you'll be able to find all of those. I will never get these folded. Look how nicely they do this. Can you believe it? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Nice triangles. Love it. I'll figure that out later. Actually, no, I'll just take them all apart because, of course, I want to use them. Let me see maybe what I have salvage here, if it will tell me anything. Of course not. Well, this I thought was kind of an interesting stripe. Of course, I always love polka dotty things. Let's see if I can. This is closer to this size, but it has a bit of gray dots on one side, which I just love. Will you tell me who you are? No, you won't. Sorry. Sorry. But that's a really nice stripe too. I might have to go back and get some more of that. They gave me a coupon for, I think, 20% off my next visit, so twist my arm. Anyway, so I have a bunch of new black and white fabrics and bright fabrics. So I'm pretty excited. A couple of new stripes, big polka dots. Life is good. I have many things that I can do. And since I pulled these pieces out, sorry, I'm just kind of flitting around here. Since I pulled these pieces out, I'm remembering how much I liked this particular project. So I'm going to have to work on this one again soon. I am liking that a lot. So that will be happening, I hope, at some point in the future. I want to finish up this black backgrounded one that I showed you just a minute ago. I did finish finally quilting the halfway round quilt. If you're follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you saw that. I'll post a photo here. I don't know that the lighting's going to be great for this photo. I did finish the binding and it's hanging. I want to enter it in a show during the next couple of weeks, so I hope the lighting up front improves. This is coming right along, you know. I've got a lot of pieces going here. So I think that's going to be it for today. Next week we may revisit the strips with the ring and the arrow heads. But I also have something else in mind with strips of scraps that I want to give a try. We'll see what happens. That's it for today, I think. We still have some pondering to do. Again, I always welcome your comments and suggestions, or what you liked, didn't like, how you would have done it differently. That's what we're all here for, to figure out what we like and our process for going through and deciding how we're going to do things. And just, frankly, we're just playing. So thank you for joining me today. Next week, I hope I will see you again. In the meantime, be well, be safe, be happy, be quilting. Peace out.